energy read for October 2023. So I'm going to go through everything. If you're new to my channel, I'm just going to go through everything on an individual basis. Then I will collectively amalgamate some of these clarifiers below here and give you the story of what I see coming in. And again, some of you are going to be on different timelines, again, because your decisions are all being made at different times of the month, day, week, that kind of thing. So I do feel like the energies will still play out for Libras for the most part here. Your stories will be a little bit different because you are, again, all having to learn the lessons in a particular way. So again, however that resonates for you. So I'm just going to get right into it. So of course, starting out energy for the month of October is excellent. It is the sun. So anything dealing with the sun, of course, is all around illumination. It's about bringing some light to a situation. It's about a happy feeling. It's hope. It's hope in a situation. Certainly anything around the sun is about growth and recovery from a situation here as well. So there may have been something here that you were challenged by, and I feel like that is starting to resolve. And not only on that, it also on an internal basis too, because of the clarifier here I see below. But we're just going to get right into the main energies here on a general level first. So again, when I see the Sun card out here and it's right next to the Five of Wands, there's clearly been some challenge around a particular situation. So what I want to say there is I feel like Five of Wands could certainly be you being in a situation where other people were a little bit envious, or where there's some kind of jealousy that's going on, but there is more of a battle. When I see the Seven of Swords, that kind of thing, it's more about a situation where there's been some kind of word battle. But I feel with the Five of Wands, this is about quiet sort of jealousy. This is about something that's kind of behind the scenes. So it's not where you're actually able to necessarily see what's going on, but the issue is that something is coming to the forefront in another way, where you're not really understanding where something is coming out of nowhere. There's this battle, but you're not really able to connect it to something. So, but again, with the level of, the sun and this kind of illumination, I mean, this definitely speaks to there being more hope in a situation either way. It could also be a battle that's around a child. There might be something here that is being kind of reset. So maybe there has been some issues around 20, 30-year-old person, but I sort of feel this could be child for some of you, and certainly it could be around somebody who is in their 20s and 30s, but just because of the clarifier. But I still feel like this could be something around a relationship dynamic. So whoever this person is, Knight of Pentacles to me is around somebody who's generally pretty solid, somebody who can be relied upon, somebody who's very stable on the average. They're not high risk taker, anything like that. This would be somebody who really is somebody who's really on the average, does things in a methodical way. So they're okay, going toward a goal and doing it in a slow, methodical way. They try to do things in a way where there's going to be some form of balance, is what I would say there. So in terms of the sun, like I said, I feel like there's a certain level of comfort that you feel within yourself because of this hermit energy. There's a certain level of wisdom that's coming through here as well. And I do feel like in this energy, this is not necessarily predicting that there's a lot of money coming in. I don't really even see anything other than slow moving money. Still really good steps around it, but there is some challenges still around that front. I do feel like there is something that you have to kind of battle for and able to enjoy a certain level of success around money. But you may not be getting the acknowledgement that you were hoping for around something that's related to money as well. But either way, you're applying your knowledge in a particular direction that's helping you to move forward. So the sun is definitely a symbol of self-expression. Certainly does speak to, a certain level of consciousness where you're really, able to use that energy in a productive way. You're using your wisdom to be able to apply to a particular situation, whether this is financial, because I do see finances out here, and again, it's just a general read, but I also see around a childlike energy. You're using wisdom in how to temper a situation so that there would be growth and some beauty. And of course, with the sunflowers, this is about symbolizing those elements of having a lot of the things that you need in your life, because the sunflower is really about, it can be about mourning the loss of something, but it is also a rebirth of something here as well. So Anyway, that energy, like I say, is more of a garden where there is some growth. Things are contained within a boundary, and it certainly does speak to a lot more energy and vitality. And certainly, there's more knowledge coming in the month of October that you're able to move forward with. So, the major arcana, of course, for this read is abundance. That's the sun, that's the Empress. So, for the month of October, I feel like you're in a real positive space where there are some really good things coming in for you. Again, when we look at the Five of Wands, I mean, that is still in around some level of strong, conflicting opinions, that kind of thing there. But I mean, it definitely still speaks to things going in a positive direction, because we do have the Ace of Cups down here. And of course, there's an understanding that seems to come out of this. So if we're talking about a relationship, I feel like there is something here that, is going to allow you to here's some good news in regard, or somebody is going to concede on some level, where you're going to get an answer. This isn't the main energy out, but it's sort of a resolve where something is kind of come around, where there was some rigidity over here. I feel like you win the argument, or you win something around the situation. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces could also be relevant here too with some of the cards that I see here. But overall, like I said, the energy is very positive and hopeful. Empress, of course, is about all of that as well. It's a very positive energy. It's a feminine energy. Could be dealing with a mother figure here as well, where there's kind of a new start for, this mother figure or this feminine. Doesn't have to be a feminine, but somebody who's quite nurturing either way. This does indicate that there is some kind of attainment of something here as well. So we are looking at the Empress, where it's a very supportive kind of energy, and it definitely speaks to you being supported in a particular connection for others. But again, I feel like there's something here around a relationship where there is kind of a happy new start, something that is going in a positive direction. So it does make you feel like there's a little bit more light and warmth around that connection. And again, it's still in around the idea of possibly even a birth for others, but it could be also a birth of an idea. But anyway, we'll kind of tie it all in. This is just sort of the general energy of the cards first. Then when we get to King of Cups, so we're dealing with the intuition. King is definitely somebody who is a mature energy. This is somebody who comes through with a message. This is somebody who is very emotionally mature here as well, in control of themselves, and definitely speaks to having a certain sense of understanding about how to go forward. So this could be a mature energy that's coming through to give you some advice here as well. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, again, as I said, seems to kind of resonate more strongly here, but definitely is in around a mature father figure energy. So whoever that is for you. So this is somebody who really taps into their intuition and has a lot of wisdom, like I said. So I'm only seeing the one king here, so it looks like it's a mother-father kind of energy here, and it does look like there's a new energy or a new start where there's an understanding, where there might have been more of a battle between. But these are very influential sort of people. This is more of a receptive energy with the Empress, but she's this one of the strongest, all the queens in the deck kind of energy. Where you have a lot of balance that comes through from various elements, right? So air, earth, wind, all of that, and emotions. But this is that rock steady person. This is somebody who can be trusted, and there may be some form of enlightenment around, or something around someone who is a little bit of a younger person here with the Page of Swords, but there's definitely some kind of a truth or clarity that's also coming through. So again, you are dealing with, I suspect, because this is happier energy, whatever quarrel there was in the earlier part of October, I feel like somehow there's been a turnaround of those feelings, and things have been reinterpreted, and there's been some kind of a settling of that conflict. For whatever reason, there's been a new start here emotionally, where there's been a different understanding. You've come to some kind of an understanding with the Ace of Cups. So we'll get into the Fool energy here as well. This is more of a clarifier. Like I said, it's not the main energy out. Fool, of course, is starting off, with a new lease on life, you know. So I feel like the mother energy here could be also starting to look at life in as though it's for the first time, you know. It's a restart of some sort here. It's a new opportunity. It can also be representing a new job, a more profitable job, something where there's a lot more abundance tied to it, but it has more of a sense of potential, and it certainly is more of an adventurous kind of energy. So I still feel like whatever this is that's coming through, it's a do-over or restart of something here. And again, we're going to tie it all in. This is just sort of the general energy in a more specific way, and then we'll tie it together with the clarifier. As I said, Knight of Pentacles, I feel like you could be dealing with somebody who's sort of that 20s, 30s range, but somebody who really has a slow to understand things as well. The Knight is somebody who takes action, but they're doing it in such a slow, methodical way. It takes some time to kind of build an understanding of something. So I feel like whatever the battle was, it's kind of a slow turnaround as to what brings about this Ace of Cups. And of course, Ace of Cups is still in around Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but it's also in around that energy of, you know, an important understanding or an important kindness, like some kind of could be good friends or but whatever the significant connection is, there's some sense of it being more of a leveling up emotionally where you're starting to reconnect here. So there's something here around that energy of a new beginning, and things are sort of in a more hopeful, optimistic sort of form. Again, when we get into the Hermit energy, it's still a major arcana, but again, it's just a clarifier. The main energy is out where the sun, things were looking very positive, and there's definitely abundance that's coming through, and it's in around a mother energy. Things are looking to be some kind of a new start. There's more hope in a situation. So when I get into the Hermit energy, like I said, this is more of that reflective space and really acting from a place of slow, methodical, you know, kind of decisions. Like you're not going to jump right in, even though the Fool energy is kind of a jump right in energy, but a lot of this speaks to slow, methodical with the Knight of Pentacles, and also with that Hermit energy, it still speaks to the same. It's something around thinking before you speak, thinking before you act. It's that kind of idea in the month of October. So you're not in any space of overreacting. Okay, so we're going to get into some of this a little more specifically here as well. Okay, so going back into the sun energy. So we all know that the sun is an optimistic space in a very general way. Like I said, it is going to be bringing in some form of abundance. And I feel like it's more of an emotional sort of situation just because of all the cups that are out here. And it definitely speaks to a lot of attention that's being drawn to a particular situation. Leo energy could also be present here as well, or significant, but either way, it's speaking to, you know, the possibility of success. I'm not going to say specifically money because I don't really see a lot of pentacles. There is success in a project that is very slow moving, and it's really about putting one step in front of the other. But there is something about an emotional offering that could be coming in here from, again, water sign seems to be very prevalent. But anyway, either way, this is still something of attainment. It can also represent an ego as well that's coming through here, but I don't feel like this is overtaking any of the energy here because it's more of an empowering energy. Some of you might be traveling. Usually I see a Six of Swords and whatever, those kinds of cards out here for that. So, it definitely speaks to being in a warm space if it is that kind of thing. The sun is all about sort of building things up in a positive way so that you actually have some form of abundance. You have some form of attainment. There is a sense of, again, with the Hermit energy, you're not diving deep into your, like there's not a lot of ego on the surface. It's more about dealing with things in an emotional way under the surface. But you are living your life in more of an expressive way in October, and I feel like that energy is radiating around you. So this is really where you're in that space of, I love my work, I love my connections, I really love myself at this time. I feel like things are feeling like they're turning in a positive direction. I feel like I've got more truth, more light, more understanding. I feel good with myself. It's really about feeling more abundant, like feeling like you're looking after yourself here as well. And maybe this was this struggle or this conflict that kind of arises here with the Five of Wands, whatever the situation is. I mean, the five is like a little argument to me. If I see more than one five, I mean, that's definitely speaking to something that's pretty significant. But there is progress in this situation because you're with the Knight of Pentacles. It's kind of a slow to understanding of a situation, but there's an adjustment, there's a bit of a challenge, and it definitely speaks to, having to be a little bit more flexible in your understanding around, again, could be somebody who's in their 20s, 30s. But either way, there's some sense of having to be a little more flexible in whatever the situation is, because it's almost like there's a bit of jealousy or something that's coming through here. But either way, it's an opposing, competitive sort of feel. So whatever this is for you, could be even on a social level or a business level, but like I said, you'll know for each one of you, it's going to resonate a little differently because there's going to be more significant energy around that little battle here. But again, you're coming at it from a place of deeper understanding and certainly a more positive, optimistic, sort of wise place. So it doesn't feel like it's going to be anything that hangs you up for too long. But whatever this little obstacle is, just know that it is going to be something that you have to have some versatility with. There's also a sense of, again, feeling a lot more optimistic, again, with that sun energy, but you're taking some action, you're being firm here with that Five of Wands energy. There, in terms of your finances, it does kind of speak to something around, sorry guys, just altering my windows here. Anyway, it does sort of speak to not panicking. You might be feeling a little bit of stress here, but you're kind of creating a game plan. And again, rising to that challenge here. And the game plan is something that's slow, methodical, and steady. And again, even if it is speaking to something around a particular type of routine, this would be sort of pacing yourself here with the Knight of Pentacles. It's kind of slowing things down in October. I will say there was a card that sort of flew out that was a Nine of Wands, so it could be where there was something here that was kind of a bit of a burnout energy, where you felt a little overstretched, that kind of thing previously. There was some kind of a setback, but either way, you're kind of laying out a new game plan, like I said, with that Knight of Pentacles. So, and again, if it's a person, if it resonates for you as a person, that Knight of Pentacles is still somebody who's very accomplished and really sets things in motion, because it's based on a very wise plan. I mean, it's right beside the Hermit card, so there's definitely something that speaks to achievable goals. Could be Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. It's also relevant for others, but water sign really speaks very strongly here to me in Leo. But these are kind of influential actions that you're taking here with that Knight of Pentacles energy. So again, there's also something here. If we were talking about a relationship, I would feel like this is a very passionate kind of relationship where there could be some issues around that, where there's a little bit of an argument of sorts where, things are moved on in that space. I mean, there's an understanding that comes through, but it still feels like there is a level of discord, like I said, that you're going to have to sort of counter. I don't really see it as a strong setback or anything like that. Like I said, it's almost like it's just an irritation. Something's in my way and I have to deal with it. It's that kind of thing. So when we get to the Empress, and of course that is a very strong major arcana card. So again, your major arcana are the Empress as well as the Sun. So that's really all of that. It's about really being in a space where you feel like you're a little more lucky, or there's a lot more coming around for you. That sort of sets good things in your path that are probably more practical things here with that Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like this is a space where you feel a lot more open. You're interested in connecting with other people, new ideas here, because there's a lot coming through. As far as even with a new job, it would be maybe further out, but it's almost like it's an idea that's coming through to make extra money. But it's about also being in control of your own show here. The Empress is not somebody who is kind of the bystander and somebody who takes a back and really looking after the relationships. This is somebody who has, really good reasoning ability as well, to a certain extent, because they're relying on their intuition. They're relying on the positive effect that they have on their connections and in their environment. They use that energy. So whether they're getting it from nature, whether it's coming from books, whether it's from art, it's that kind of nurturing energy that's being pulled in here to sort of develop answers or create answers, and it's coming from the environment. So again, could be related around fashion, art, beauty, that kind of thing, but it's a caring industry all around that could be relative. So again, however that speaks to you. So there is also the energy where there's, again, more of a fruitful time because it's an emotional space that seems to be building. And again, when we get to the Fool card, again, this is still that, kind of jumping in, but jumping into something that is going to be a very lucrative path. This is also about how you feel around people that you're close to. You're willing to take a risk on something because it is a new project. You're willing to, kind of invest in a connection because you feel more committed to it. It's that kind of thing. Maybe you're a little restless in wanting to do something, but it's still the energy around everything's going to be okay, everything is improving, even health could be even around a mother figure as far as health. But either way, there's something that is happening here that is giving you the sense that you can reconstruct your life in some way and go forward. Everything is starting to balance it out here. So when we kind of go back to that King of Cups energy, this is still that energy around somebody who's quite mature, and again, it's very emotionally intuitive person, somebody who really is quite in control of their emotions. And it still speaks to Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but it is still somebody who's very in touch with their feelings at this time. And I just feel like because of that, it is helping you to learn or level something up in an emotional way. Everything is starting to improve, even in the love front, even in terms of your own self-care, even you're mastering your own emotions, that kind of thing. You're really in touch with your feelings in this space. Answers are coming through on intuitive levels, that kind of thing. So it's really just a very positive level of understanding, in the month of October. And it's very, like I said, emotionally driven. And I'm going to tie this, you're really connected to spirit at this time. So now we're going to some of the other cards here again. Kind of recap, like I said, the sun is still that card of a lot of really positive energy that is coming through here. You are feeling a lot brighter about your future. You're feeling a lot more optimistic in a situation. You're feeling good about you overall is what I would say there. And like I said, I mean, there's a sense that you're really trying to maybe make things right with yourself. So let's start it out here. Sun card, and again, that's with the Hermit energy. So these are two powerful cards together because it's a clarifier, it's an enlightenment, it's a deeper understanding of your spiritual journey, it's a deeper understanding of you. So this is where you take a step back from the world, you really reflect on your inner self, and you're really trying to make it right with you and to be able to go forward. So this could also represent a spiritual teacher or a guide of some sort coming in for some of you, but it's a very successful time to keep things moving forward. The other part of this is it's self-discovery. So I feel like you're realizing some things about yourself. Maybe you're stronger than you thought you were, that kind of thing, because these cards together, and again, they're interpreted in a lot of different ways because it's a lot of different layerings of you. It's a sense of renewal, and it's also success after some kind of period of introspection as well. So this is also about an unexpected opportunity, like I said, that's coming in here very shortly, but we're not right. That's more at the beginning of October that you're starting to feel this, you're focusing on this deeper wisdom and you're really getting things right with you. So there's a sense of you feeling more revitalized in the beginning of October. So there's a fresh start or a sense of that coming through here. So when we get to the Five of Wands, as I said, there's a sense of a little bit of jealousy or competition. I mean, this could be you fighting you as well, but I sense that this is, it's right connected to a Knight of Pentacles, so could be some challenges around money here as well, but either way, you're faced with an obstacle and there's a challenge, there's a bit of resilience that's required and able for you to move forward here and just to stay grounded and focused, regardless of your chaos or whatever is going on around you. But the Knight of Pentacles, to me, feels like you're righting the situation because you're back onto stability and reliability, all of that in terms of your finances. So there's been some kind of decision I feel that's come through, and I did pull a couple of clarifiers, and of course the Queen of Cups is using your resources really emotionally, trying to keep things in check, being more open in regards to a particular situation. But either way, you're remaining pretty, tenacious to overcome whatever this little battle is. So again, Five of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, this is about you being focused on an objective, and it definitely is a reminder that, you know, ultimately you, through that determination and that resilience, you get to the other side of things. So you're really focused with this kind of energy, and it definitely speaks to strength of character to be able to get through to, you know, through your own efforts to be able to overcome this little battle here. So we also are moving into, again, we're into the Empress energy here with the Fool. So when we speak to this combination, I mean, this one is definitely, as I said, there's nurturing, there's abundance, there's creativity. There could be the birth of a child, that kind of thing that may be coming through here, or at least some kind of aspect. There's some kind of a truth that's coming through here that will be revealed. Also could be a lot of more knowledge building, like you're really trying to research something here as well. But I do feel like there's a lot of deep insights that are still coming through here, and it's around trying to create something. It's around trying to manifest something. So a lot of spiritual lessons might be coming through because there's so many cards of cups that are relevant, but you're using it in a very practical way. So you're actually putting some effort into a physical, you know, physical effort, and able to realize whatever it is, you know, utilize it in some way. It's not just you just embracing the spirit and you know, living out of your head. This is really implementing it and putting it into some kind of practice. But there's a lot of excitement. When I see the Fool here next to the Empress, there's a lot more excitement coming through in the month of October that you're starting to feel in this month. And it's just you being more open to love, you being more open to your, you know, yourself, and even to a possible new relationship or a new start of that how do I say, kind of revamp of that relationship, you know, because like I said, the King of Cups to me does indicate that there is somebody, water sign, that seems to be very relevant. And it's almost like there's new love or new level of emotional balance coming through here. So again, there's some kind of a journey here where there's a lot more respect, a lot more trust, a lot more understanding. There's a lot more emotional healing. All of this is relevant here. And I feel like you're being guided by your emotions here. It's using emotional intelligence, not reacting with emotion. But you're using your emotions to heal and grow and understand the situation more on a deeper level. So again, in terms of a business situation, I feel like there is emotional intelligence that's being used to be able to build a certain level of mutual respect and understanding. So again, this combination is still allowed to revitalize things and develop an opportunity for yourself, that is emotional maturity that's really coming through, and that is what I feel is helping you to control the outcome in a very smart way here. So when we get to the Page of Swords, again, Page of Swords on its own, of course, is still speaking to, you know, learning something. This could be speaking to a younger person here as well that is creating some distance around a mother figure or a father figure as well. But there is definitely some positive changes that are coming through regardless. There is forward movement in lots of different ways, and it's almost that energy of somebody is trying to do, you know, lead in one particular way or in a particular direction, but either way, it's some kind of energy and enthusiasm that's being the main idea around this whole October energy. So everything looks very promising, and it feels like it's a slower energy. You're not charging through. It's very introspective in the month of October. There could be something around public speaking or writing a book, because we are dealing with the Page of Swords. So this is somebody who really follows their passions, and that's definitely encouraging you to move in that intellectual way, and certainly in a way of expressing yourself. But again, there could also be a certain level of tension or conflict, something around mother figure or father figure, or two, you know, male, female, mature energies versus a sort of a younger energy here as well. But this is also somebody who wants to stay alert and learn more about their world. So looking at the world with fresh eyes, that kind of thing is what the page is all about. So again, there's a lot of really good energy here. Very, very positive. I did pull a couple of clarifiers underneath the sun. That was where we had that Nine of Wands. So maybe we'll go through that. So again, when we see the Nine of Wands, I'll just get into that one through, or something is a tying up of, you know, tying up of a remnants of a situation, and you're just kind of you're almost ready to hit the 10, where it's just going to be, it's going to be dealt with. So like I said, it feels like the energy has been very weighing on you, is what I would say there. It just feels like you've put out a lot of energy, time and energy into something, And it's almost like it has been so hard to get to this sense of enlightenment or clarity, something along that line. But you're very resilient with the Nine of Wands. A lot of strength, a lot of perseverance. I feel like you're somebody who doesn't give up. You're somebody who really takes the challenge on no matter what. And of course, this is illuminating the path to show you how to battle the situations that you put yourself forward with. But it feels like, again, it's more of a conclusive energy. It's drawing, you know, drawing more of the finalities of a situation, so that you can sort of tie something up and overcome the obstacle. And again, sitting on the Queen of Wands, I mean, the Queen of Wands definitely is somebody who is in that space of, I'm dynamic. I've definitely got a lot of charisma, or at least I'm using that to my advantage, to move me ahead. So, like I said, Nine of Wands, I mean, these are wands, so they're definitely action oriented sort of momentum. But again, I feel like you're doing a lot more along the lines of, or maybe this is, as I said, more of a past energy, because these are the clarifiers, because the main energy out was really you stepping back. But again, even with the Queen of Wands energy, I mean, you're still in a space of feeling pretty strong and feeling pretty good about the energy, like the steps that you've taken. So, like I said, I mean, I feel like you're feeling a lot more inspired, a lot stronger, and there's a sense of leadership with the Queen of Wands, a lot more passion behind what it is that you're trying to, challenge. And it certainly speaks to, you achieving the goal. It's definitely that you've come a long way because you're looking at the Nine of Wands. And it's definitely about you achieving, something because you've been disciplined and focused on it. So, that's a really positive, uplifting kind of energy for you. This is inner strength because you were able to persevere, and that kept you on the path. So we're going to go right into the last part, because I didn't do a whole bunch of clarifiers beyond the ones that I just showed you. But again, the Five of Wands with the Queen of Cups. So again, the Five of Wands does indicate that there is some element here that needed some attention. The Five of Wands is kind of that challenging energy, but again, because it ends up on so many cards of maturity emotionally, it feels like you're very centered in the month of October. Sorry. So Five of Wands, like I said, there can be some complexities here, but you had to get some deeper understanding, and that's kind of what the challenge was. There's sort of a fight or a battle, somebody's playing a game, there's a struggle of some sort. But again, the outcome is still in your favor, and again, it's because you represent, a strong, emotional, cool, calm, collected, empathetic sort of that's how you present. You're very compassionate toward others, and I feel like that's worked in your favor, especially in the month of October. There might have been some conflicting emotions, that somebody else was acting out of, that kind of thing, whether this is friends, family, colleague, whatever. That competitive sort of energy is resolving, and again, I feel like it's done through empathy and compassion. So whatever the struggle is in terms of emotions, there's a period of intensity, and then it quickly resolves because of this emotional maturity. That's how you're resolving it. Again, the Empress, the issue around the Empress was unable to go forward. There is some kind of a decision that's required. So, like I said, I feel like you're having to maybe look at, a couple of options for sure here, but it's, you're having to choose between a path. So whether this is a mother figure and having to choose, make a decision before going forward. Either way, I still feel like the energy is all favorable. Two of Swords is just, like I said, maybe there was a stalemate of sorts, but I don't really feel like that because there's just too many cards of, breaking free. And, so maybe there was some level of stagnancy before, but, I don't feel like that's the case now because Two of Swords is some kind of a decision has been made. So you're definitely in a space where you feel a lot more empowered. Well, maybe empowered's not quite the word. It's not a drive home, chariot kind of energy. It's more about, I'm growing into this authority. I'm very, level-headed. I'm more of a strong figure because I represent, a deeper connection to my life and to myself and to my friends and family. This is you experiencing, maybe doubts previously, but again, you're not, I don't feel like you're blocking your emotions because there's so much opening up. A little reserved at some point here, but again, I feel like you're facing a decision, to sort of choose to be more open and choose to go forward. So this is about that feminine sort of energy where, again, being grounded, nurturing, very objective, compassionate, and just a very balanced energy with the Empress coming through. So you're just making right choices here with all that energy. Let's just see if I had any more clarifiers there. And like I said, for the most part, I mean, the energy that I'm seeing here is just really, it's just very optimistic all around. Like I said, the sun is still that energy. I'm going to do some oracle cards here for you too as well. A little bit further out on the next read. Maybe tonight, I don't know. We'll see how it goes time-wise, but like I said, I mean, all I'm seeing here is you're just in a space now where you feel like you're just feeling a lot happier about life. There's more opportunity or something with people, and emotionally you just feel like you're a lot more centered because, like I said, that Ace of Cups, even though it's just a clarifier and it is coming up ahead here, it's still about a possibility, and just to remain a little more optimistic a little longer here, because there's going to be something that's going to bring you in some kind of fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, whether this is, again, even in a connection. Either way, it does signify some kind of there was some kind of necessary change that needed to come forward here. And this is around, I feel like, kind of a unique approach because of the Fool energy. There's been some kind of a unique way to bring about this personal satisfaction. So again, there's a lot of fulfillment, a lot of emotional nourishment, a lot of emotional satisfaction here all around. I definitely feel like there's been some kind of change, but it's you being very emotionally centered. Like I said, I just think these are amazing cards for you. Yeah, I don't know that there's much else that I can probably bring about with that, but like I said, I mean, this is just the general energy. I mean, it's going to speak to you all a little differently, but like a unmistakable energy here with the Empress as well as the Sun. That definitely indicates that this is somebody who is all about domestic harmony and certainly speaks to stability. So I feel like you've got strong associations with your connections right now. You're feeling a lot luckier. And again, there's a lot of growth and progress, even on a personal level. Very stable, warm home environment. I do feel like you're using your resources well, and it definitely feels like things are moving in a direction where you have the ability to share some of your love and your connection and all of those things. Like you're really in a space of harmony and balanced health. So, and again, even for a mother figure, this does represent, digestive system or kidneys. That also could be sort of relevant, but either way, I just feel like you've really made some big moves here. I might just touch in on, like I said, that Sun card is really heralding most of the energy for this read. So I would just say, as somebody said to me, stay to the light. This is all about a place where you're actually in a space where you can actually enjoy the energy this month. So for all of the hardship that you were kind of enduring before, I just feel like there's a lot more opening up to you. There's a lot more positive energy. I don't see any towers or anything like that. The Sun card, like I said, is, really about, children. There's happy moments here. You're dealing with children in a wise way. There's very reliable energy here. There's valuable connections. There's more playful enthusiasm. I just feel like even on an inner self basis, you're feeling a lot more enabled and a lot more energetic. You're using your energy just in a very slow, methodical way, but your mental state is definitely happier. So for sure, without question, this is about having a little more fun in the month of October, is what I would say. And it's definitely with that Queen of Wands energy, I still feel like, there's creative success here as well. Yeah, like I said, there's just too much here that really speaks to even an opportunity coming up where you're able to even thrive, in a connection. So that is probably where I'm going to leave it for this period, but October looks friggin' amazing. And maybe just as a side note, like I said, Page of Swords could be doing a little bit of research on something here, because that is a card of really trying to figure something out. Page of Swords, again, could still represent that younger person, but it's somebody who tries to figure out the world. This is not somebody who just sits in the energy and waits for things to come to them. I mean, they really do an exploration. Again, there's a little bit of a distance, or not speaking or communicating or keeping somebody at a distance to be able to understand something. But there is also, kind of that energy of study, but not study as in school study. It's almost like it's like an extreme curiosity. And there's more of an assertiveness that goes with that energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could also be relevant. Not the main energy out, though, so it's sort of secondary. But somebody who's really clever in the way that they look at their life. There's still mental energy going on here, but it's more emotional energy. So it's like somebody's having a heart-to-heart talk maybe with somebody who is, observing or a little more distant, and that kind of thing. But it's also speaking to... a lot more cleverness in the way that you communicate. So doing your research on this situation, like I said, might be in around something here that speaks to doing something that kind of gets you back on track, because this is a powerful thinker. So this is somebody that is, really wanting knowledge, really wanting fairness. This is being really resourceful to sort of figure things out in around how to deal with this new beginning with the Ace of Cups and this water sign. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll ask more specific questions, I think, with the tarot, and just see what kind of comes out here in the next little read. But for the moment, that's what I have for you for the month of October as a general read. Looking good. Keep moving forward, Libra.